All right, and welcome into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, coming to you around 9 p.m., April 13th, the evening of the latest Boston Bruins victory, a 4-1 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh. A game that the Bruins, I guess, dominated is probably not the right word, but controlled a lot of. They got up 3-1, empty net goal by Lauko. Korpisalo played well. We're definitely going to talk young guys, in particular Fabian Lysell getting his first goal, maybe a little Fraser Minton. Otherwise, besides that, we're not going to talk much X and O's, but we'll talk about some things. And we got a lot of stuff, maybe ancillary stuff to cover. Before we get to that, let's remind you, Fazenda Coffee Roasters out of Dedham is the lead sponsor for Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. Fazenda Coffee powers some of Boston's best cafes and restaurants with exceptional coffee with their wholesale program, but they can also service you at home with their retail or direct ship program. Go to fazendacoffee.com. If you have a wholesale business, go to fazendacoffee.com wholesale. Or if you want to learn more about the Morning Brew blend, the Morning Brew hat that Razor is wearing, and the Morning Brew Clean Canteen, go to fazendacoffee.com/morning brew. Check out fazendacoffee.com, Boston's finest boutique coffee roaster. We thank them enormously for all of their awesome support. Razor, okay, you've been all over. I've been all over this weekend. How the hell are you, bud? It's been, last show we did was after the 7-2 throttling.
2 in a row we're winning now.
That's right. We're doing shows after wins again. Lucky
all positive, us. All looking up. Yeah, everything's good. Masters weekend. That's the best part of.
Did you have fun with that? Did you have fun with the Masters?
I love the Masters. I don't miss a second of that. I'll miss other things, but I'm not gonna miss golf as much as I can. So it was fun. Yeah, Roars finally pulled it out today, so we had fun watching on the couch.
Did you think that after he dunked it, what was that, 16?
Yeah,
7, and then put it in the trap?
13, and then I mean the whole thing was crazy.
Right. Did you honestly think that he would find a way to win at that time?
No. I know. I thought he was perfectly fine on 12, and then 13. When he laid up on 13, I'm like, this is it. He's never laid up on this hole ever. He's playing conservative. He's playing scared, and sure enough, the wheels started falling off, and Rose was good at going, and and he's never gonna win if he loses that today, right? Like, you can never come back from that. He had a 4-shot lead. He's missing 3-footers. Like, you're never coming back from that.
You could see the visceral angst on his face.
Yes.
And as things started to unravel, but yet he found the fortitude, the strength to figure it out, to reset. I mean, you want to talk about, we always talk about using an intermission to reset. Sometimes it works in your behalf, and other times it doesn't. From a hockey perspective, you go from hole to hole, and this guy, like, you want to talk about roller coaster, emotional roller coaster. He had to puke on some of those holes. I guarantee he had to have.
Had to have. And it also just goes to show you how good he is, right? Like, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, he's throwing up on himself all over, and he still wins because he's just so much better than everybody at hitting a golf ball. Like, if he has Tiger's mind, he's literally winning as much as Tiger. Like, that's how talented he is. It's crazy.
I keep thinking Rory is older than 35. It feels like he's been around forever.
Yeah.
He's that guy who started in the NHL at 18 that hit 1,000 games at 27 years old. And you're like, how the fuck?
He's Sasha Barkov.
Yeah. You're like, how does he get to 1,600 games in the NHL? And you realize at 38, he's played 75 games a year on it, whatever it is. It's unbelievable. Good for him. Good for Justin Rose, too.
I know. He's second in the last 2 majors. The guy's turning it around.
And how old is he? 40,
he's 45.
45?
Yeah.
He played well. He was what a leaderboard for a while.
That was awesome.
A lot of fun. Yeah, we had it going. We were traveling. I was traveling this weekend with my wife and our daughter, who is narrowing down her college choice.
Here we go.
We were in D.C. and had an interesting time there. Weather was awful. So I really didn't get much time. And I started getting one of those crummy colds from, anyways. Just So I did get a little rest Saturday afternoon. I got about 45 minutes of the Masters in, but today I made sure to get real dad on the couch Masters time.
Yeah.
That's important.
It is.
Yeah. Like if I had youth hockey today, I'd find a reason not to be involved with it, or young adult hockey. I'd be like, no, sorry, guys.
No, 100%.
So we watched that, but we also watched the Bruins as well. By the way, 3:30 start on TNT is like 4:02 or something like that. It was crazy.
The poor networks are just getting smashed the last 2 weeks of the season.
Oh,
and now
why do we not have flex
and now
games?
Playoffs coming up. Like
Why
no
do
one's
we not-
watching hockey.
Why don't we have flex games?
Yeah. I mean,
Didn't
Bruins
we
should have
used
been
to have
flexible
flex
on it.
games some years ago?
Yeah.
Am I forgetting? Am I missing something, Razor?
No, you're not. No, I think the problem is there's nowhere to flex. There's nothing. It's just dead garbage time everywhere. There's a few matchups that are to be determined, but no one's really jostling and no one's really just trying to stay healthy.
Yeah. Well, you get these two major markets, Boston and Pitt, and they're thinking at least one, if not both, will be in the playoffs, and that'll be good eyeballs, even with the Masters on it.
Yeah.
Masters is a mammoth. It's a beast. You know that, folks. You all know that too. Whether you like golf or not, it is a mammoth weekend. And when you've got the top guys in the sport, and I'd say of the top 10, without remembering everybody, 8 of the top 10 got. When I mean 8 of the top, I mean big names were up there, Rays. Like that was a Boku rate leaderboard. That's going to be hard for anything. But when you have two teams that are scuffling, and that is being kind to the Boston Bruins and the Pittsburgh Penguins, that's hard. I'd be very curious to find out what the ratings were, just for curiosity's sake, from this game. But regardless, the Bruins get a victory. Couple of good things from this game, really good things. I thought Korpisalo was very good. Now, he only faced 6 shots for, I don't remember how long. It was over a period and a half, something like that. But he started getting more rubber put on him, especially as the game's late second, third period went on. Thought his focus was excellent. We thought he'd play because it's Swayman started the last game at home on Tuesday. Good for Korpisalo.
Yeah.
Good for him. I know his numbers lately have been tough because of what's going on with this team. But let's not. I'm not going to make it out to the end all be all. But damn, he's given it all this year, and I'm happy for him, Razor, that he gets the last one. Small things matter to me in this regard.
I'm glad the guy showed up for him at the end for sure. He was taking bad losses, around the Four Nations and into the trade deadline. And then since the trade deadline, he just got, he got smoked in the games that he played, and it had nothing to do with him. He was keeping the Anaheim. He kicked for 38 minutes. Buffalo, he kicked for 29 minutes, and the wheels just fell off in those games, and his numbers took a hit, like you said. But that's nice for him to finish off, knowing this is it, and you're not going to play for 6 months, and so good for him and good for the guys to put a defensive effort in front of him.
All right, so you're a goalie. You've been in this situation before, a backup goalie playing for a team that isn't good. And you're getting one of your last starts of the season, and you don't know where the team's mindset is after going through all this. And you're saying, and it's on national TV. That's it. I don't know if that's a big deal, but it's a deal. It has to be. You know it. Everybody knows it. Doesn't mean that, the whole world's watching, but a lot of the hockey world is. So what's your mindset? Like, what do you do, Razor, from your experience, getting ready to play that kind of game? So I know you're a pro. Look, anytime I go out on the ice, you want to win, right? No matter, you just do. But this is a grind time. What's your mindset? What are you telling yourself to get yourself ready and to make sure that you're in the best possible stead that you can be?
You have a good practice day. Friday, you get a lot of work in. You have a good meal Friday night, but it doesn't. I don't. Again, he's played 300 games or whatever it is now, 250. Like it's not. It wouldn't be too much. You wouldn't have overthought this one, and the fact that you're out of it, this is kind of more about you than everybody else, and you just kind of hope that it goes. You are nervous in that you don't really have control and you don't really know what you're gonna get from this kind of a team. So that changes. Then when you're on a good team, you just roll out and you just focused on your own. But and it kind of happens with all players on bad teams is you start worrying about what's going on around you a little bit. So you have to kind of dial that in, but you're a little unsure of what's going to happen. But you also know it's the last one either way. So there's somewhat of a relief factor too.
So it's a loose atmosphere though. I know the Bruins are keeping up the practices. They're doing all
it's loose, very loose.
It's loose though, right?
Yes.
Like the Bruins have practice tomorrow, Razor. Like they have practice on Monday. Like the guys are not like they're having an 11 a.m. practice, last one of the year, keeping the guys, when I say focused, I think it's probably more just routine oriented and then showing, I guess, respect for the game. I'm sure it'll be a very loose practice, right?
Going out. You don't just mail it, it's full on respect for the league and the game and being a pro.
Right. So I like that. I mean, you get out there and you bring everybody together one last time. With regard to team preparation, my guess is they will have a complete, just a guess, optional before Tuesday's game, assuming that it's as full of practice as possible tomorrow. But I'd like to use your term. I like the way the guys showed up for him. I did. Pitt only ended up with 24 shots on goal, but I mean, he had to make some good saves as the game went on, and I just liked it, and I root for a guy like that. I do. So good for him. I'm just looking at it right here: 6 shots in the first, 9 total in the second, and 9 in the third. But for a while, into the mid part of the second, they didn't have more than 6. So, anyways, 18 shots combined the last 2. I was wondering if both of these teams would cross the 20-shot barrier. They did. Boy, the Penguins give up a lot too. But anyways, good for Jonas Korpisalo. Excuse me. Good for Elias Lindholm as he scores another goal, produces another point. Again, this doesn't carry over to next year, but it's got to make him at least, I don't know, it's got to make him think a little bit better or feel a little bit better about himself at the end here. I mean, he's such a kind of stoic, stereotypical kind of, Scandinavian dude, doesn't say much, doesn't show much emotion, but he does say things that indicate emotion. He's been the one who has regularly used terms like embarrassment, unacceptable, bad. And I think that's him showing emotion, obviously, but good for him. I mean, he puts in another point on the first goal. And he's out there with Pasta and Geekie. Shocker, as we know, he's been doing it. And now you're talking 4 goals in his last 6 games, Razor. Not bad. And again, it's gotta, in theory, that's all I'm saying. In theory, it's got to give him a little something heading into the off season.
Yeah, it does. He's up to 46 points. Like maybe he gets a hat trick and maybe he gets to 20 goals, 50 points at the end of the season. It definitely helps. I think what it does too is you if you really need to, because Sweens has to put a whiteboard together and the coaches have to put a whiteboard together of what it looks like next year. And you can at least put Lindholm with those 2 guys, for whatever that's worth over the next couple of months until that changes. But I think it's worked well, and there's no question that Lindholm, of all the guys, is really gonna enjoy a summer here, figuring out, not having to worry about change. It felt like it affected him, and then the fact that the end of the season goes well just makes him that much more comfortable and has to give you a little bit of hope about where his game is and where he will be mentally in September.
Yeah, I sure hope so. So he gets his 17th goal of the season. Pastrnak, 61st assist. Man, his passing continues to be just freaking tremendous. I'm going to make the apex most entertaining moment of the game. The next thing that happened that's worth mentioning, 8:52 of the second period. By the way, we're really not talking about the Chicago game at all, folks, because it wasn't really a good game. I mean, and they had 3 goals scored. 4 goals scored overall in the third period. 3 of them with a goaltender in net. It was Swayman's net. They didn't make a save. There's 4 shots, Razor. No saves in the third.
That is not the apex moment of the week. That's
no. We'll give it to Fabian Lysell, who gets his first goal as an NHLer at the 8:52 mark on the power play from Pavel Zacha and Murat Husnudinov. But it's Lysell who's going to get to the front of the net. Nice pass from Zacha off the right side. And Lysell opens up, slaps Sid, kind of pushes it through the legs. I believe it was through the legs of Tristan Jarry. And Fabian, who has really been noticeable the last couple of games, really, thankfully, noticeable, gets his first. 4 shots on goal in this game. So the last few games, he's been starting to put up more noticeable performances because his feet are moving. That's what it is. And his reactions are immediate. They're not delayed. He's been initiating instead of waiting. Very happy for Fabian Lysell. When it's all said and done, who the hell knows what this is going to mean, but it means at least he has accomplished what he has set out to in getting a goal in the National Hockey League with regard to coming up right now. We've talked ad nauseum about the need to perform at a high level offensively. So in those last 2 games now, he's got a goal and an assist, and I like it. I mean, geez, he's had Razor now in every game he's played for the Bruins. He's had a shot on goal, at least 1 shot on goal in every game. This was his most at 4. He had 3 twice in previous games.
It's great. It's great for him. It's exactly how he's needed to progress through these 10 games that he got. I think he's responded really well from getting healthy scratched. He's been better in the games, noticeably better since not playing against Washington. He's, like you said, moving his feet, and it's not just the point production. The way he looks, the way he's confident, the way he's playing, he's not thinking, he's reacting, and it's very noticeable. And then the point production is important. This guy has to, he couldn't go back 0-0. He just couldn't. So the fact that he got his assist out of the way, he gets his goal today, that's huge for him going back into the playoffs, play 1 more game Tuesday, and then go on an absolute tear in the first round and a half of the Calder Cup playoffs.
Yeah, go play the right way down there. Win battles, win every wall battle, or at least compete your ass off in everyone. Go there and make a difference. That's going to be the key. Don't go down there and say, well, I've been up there now. I know I can play at the NHL now. No, go down there and play the same way that they want you to play at the NHL level.
Yeah.
So congratulations to him. That's great. I love the smile from Pavel Zacha and the hug for him. Again, Zacha appropriately assisted on it as his centerman. Good stuff. Pastrnak with 2 assists in the game. I wouldn't have called this game an absolute thing of beauty, but Pastrnak still had his moments out there. Again, 2 assists, and Lauko gets an empty net goal. Morgan Geekie with another goal. I mean,
keeps flipping along. 5-game goal streak, 5-game point streak for Geekie. I mean,
it's just tremendous.
He's the only guy that doesn't want the season to end.
That's true.
He wants to play till July.
Well, we saw Ryan Donato the other night, who also has over 30 goals now, former Boston Bruin, long time, raised in Boston area, and he's putting up a big number this year. And just like Geekie, the 2 of them are going to get paid. We keep talking about it. Geekie now in 13 games has 10 goals and 11 assists. 10 goals
Crazy.
And 11 assists in the last 13, Razor. Like, that's, I mean, wild. Absolutely wild. And again, I keep going back to this. It's not like Pasta and whoever their center is, and Geekie, isn't getting the other team's most attention. They're getting the best guys.
All the time.
All the time, right. So Morgan Geekie's blast on his off wing, rockets in and out of the net so quick. How about the fact The rockets in on the net so quick, they don't call it a goal right away on the ice. Karam's over to Pasternak, who somehow, some way, though, puts it in from his strong side from just about the goal line past Tristan Jarry. So they would have scored either way, but they do go to review and Morgan Geekie gets it. So just awesome in that regard that Morgan Geekie, like the good stuff from this game to me, Korpisalo, Lysell, Geekie, and I guess Lindholm getting another goal. I mean, I thought there were some very spotty performances. I don't even know if we even need to get into those per se, but a sloppy game. And that's the thing. It's the focus time of the year. You're out there, you want to be a pro, but you also know that nothing's online except individual.
Yeah.
It's like high-end summer hockey, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like they're out there and they're trying to show what they can do individually.
Yeah, and even the best teams are at that point right now. They really are. There's not much going on around the entire league. It's a lot of that right now. Just as the way it's set up, the way it finished off.
Because everybody is building. They're developing for the playoffs. And that leads me into talking about Graciano construction. Building, developing, constructing, remodeling, whatever term you want to use. We like to say refresh and revitalize because that's what Graciano construction will do for your space, because they can and will do it all. Anything you want, reach out to Doug Graciano and his crew. His brother Andre, phenomenal. All the guys are as well. So respectful. The little things. I mean, they're on time. Or if they're running late, they call you or text you. They let you know. They don't leave you hanging like a lot of other contractors out there. They will talk with you about what you want, not what they want to do. They'll always come up with something new. And they're just phenomenal people to deal with. Check out GracianoConstruction.com or call 508-330-7589 to discuss what you are looking to do. Graciano Construction, serving Boston, the greater Metro West area. And tell you what, I'll bet you they'd even go a little further out just because that's the kind of guys that they are. The other company that's making this show possible is our newest sponsor, Sunset Lake CBD. Oh, baby, did I need them the last couple of days. Felt like crap. I didn't get, sometimes colds can buckle you. I didn't get that, but I was just worn down and whatever. And anyways, I made sure, especially to take my gummy with a little bit of melatonin in it the other night. And man, did I get 7 hours of sleep. And Sunset Lake CBD, they grow, harvest, and ship all of their craft CBD products directly from their farm in northern Vermont, and they go straight to your door. So you can skip the lines if you don't have the time to run out or don't want to. You can find your relief and you can find your relaxation at sunsetlakecbd.com. The best part with them is that they've got amazing just products, customer service, as Razor, you and I have talked about. You can use the code BRU20 for 20% off your entire order at sunsetlakecbd.com. And if your order is over $75, the guys at Sunset Lake CBD can ship your order for free. Make sure to try a lot of different products there. Give it a go. You'll find one or two, maybe three that work best for you, whether it's for a little soreness, a little sleep, or a little relaxation, topicals, whatever. Check out sunsetlakecbd.com. Use the code BRU20. You were running around the last couple of days, and how did you sleep after working double overtime on Thursday? If you didn't catch Razor, and shame on you if you didn't, NCAA tournament wrapped up. Semifinal Thursday. You had a double OT game, the first game going to double OT. You love overtime.
Oh, my God.
You love overtime. I'm grumpy. I fully admit it. I'm the surly, grumpy one. I hope I'm not. Am I mean ever? I don't think I'm ever. Am I? No, I'm just getting, I just get Billy grumpy, right?
Yeah. Never.
The only time Razor gets grumpy is when something gets in the way of his sleep.
Yeah.
And
I'm the one who ends up on the mean edge. Like it gets close. Like it's like from I'm okay, and then that second double over. So I was Sunset Lake CBD was like a godsend this weekend. The only good news thing was I stayed up Thursday night in the hotel there so I could sleep all morning. I'm not doing the kids in the morning. I'll be home they get home by school. So like I didn't miss anybody.
Right. You had to stay there. Otherwise you'd have been getting home.
No, it was, no, it's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous.
So Razors, just to set the stage, Razors doing the Penn State Western Michigan game. It goes to
Denver, Western Michigan. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Denver, Western Michigan. And it goes to double OT. And at that point, without a horse in the race or whatever, skin in the game, whatever cliche you want to use as a broadcaster, you are rooting for anybody to score. You do not care. Because the worst thing for Razor is that he had a whole nother game that was supposed to start at 8:30.
And you know this, the first game going to double overtime is so much worse than the second game.
Oh, so much worse.
So much worse, because then you have to line back, and then you have to do a whole fill, and then it's just better to get through the fill. And if the last game goes to double overtime and you kind of have to hang around, that's fine. But the whole point is the work in the middle of those games is what you're gearing up for, and you've already done double the work before you get to that. So it just makes an exhausting night. And then even worse, and you know this too, is they score in 26 seconds into the double overtime.
Right.
Where it's like, dude, could you not have just done that 35 minutes ago in real time? That's so annoying.
All right. Be honest. There's no rooting in the press box. I know you're not in the press box. You're in the studio. That goal goes in. Did you give a little fist pump?
100%. Just yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't care. You don't care unless you've got a distinct rooting interest.
Yeah.
So Western Michigan, they finish off Denver, and then you get to watch the BU game. And that game wasn't bad, right? That game, flowed pretty good.
Yeah, it flowed fine. I felt bad. Again, that's brutal for the kids. Like, neither team had a good game. They sat around for 2 extra hours.
Yep.
They were tired. It just wasn't a good game. I feel bad for especially Penn State, of course, because they lose, and that's their last one that they were all excited about. But by the time the puck dropped, they were dragging ass.
I wonder if they could change that to a game on Wednesday, a game on Thursday, and then Saturday. They don't want to do it on Thursday, Friday, Sunday, because especially if it's competing with Masters Sunday.
Yeah.
But I just think that needs to be changed. The whole 2 games in the same day, while I appreciate it, I know they do it with basketball. And I really know why they do it as well, Razor, because they want everybody there.
Yeah.
They also have one crew. They don't want to make the crew work 3 days. You know what I mean? The NCAA people and all that stuff. But it just, because college basketball, forgive my ignorance, what is it, a 5-minute overtime?
Yeah, that's done quick. And I guess the other thing they could do is if they started the games in a little bit further apart, you wouldn't run. But even then, you're dealing with TV times that are bad, and people are there too much. They're still there really long. Like, anyone who was there with your kid, you're not staying for the second game. Like, people were complaining about no one was there. Why they have this? Well, no. Everyone was there. They were already there for 6 hours. Like, it was time to go home. Like, unless you were diehard Penn State or diehard BU, you were done. Like, you've watched 9 periods of hockey already.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and say, I say go Wednesday, give the number 1 seed or the highest seed the Wednesday game, and then, whoever they're playing, whatever, and then Thursday you do that, and then give a day off Friday and you play Saturday. But easier said than done there. Couple of things, I mean, kind of not minutia, but Loshmelis, the kid who played college hockey at UMass, speaking of college hockey, gets signed to an agreement, signs a contract with the Bruins, but it doesn't go into effect payment-wise until next season because they don't burn a year. He's been on a teardown in Providence. He's been ripping it up. He's got a great kind of maybe more of a pro-style game. And it's pronounced Loshmelish. If it's not, forgive me that I've got it.
No, it is.
Wrong.
Yeah, you got it.
And I mean, it's a good start. That's what I'm saying. Maybe, just maybe. We've seen Riley Duran now. Now, I know you didn't work the game on Thursday, but congratulations to Riley, Woburn's own. His dad, longtime coach for Woburn High School hockey, legend in that area. And Riley going through that and then going to Providence for 3 years and earning an opportunity in the American League and getting an opportunity now with the Bruins. He's played 2 in a row. I'm going to guess he plays on Tuesday. Who knows? I mean, but good for him there. I'm not sure where he fits, but he's at least worth a mention. Hey, 6'2", 6'3", 2+, 210 pounds or so. Depth player. You get to see that. Fraser Minten, I think, continues to look good, solid. Part of the mix in conversation, I think, for next year. What that means, again, let's see what a full summer of putting on, 8 pounds and getting stronger and building off your first year. But again, I like what I've seen with him again, Razor. I think, showing me again that he has that real pro potential to his real high-end pro potential, meaning NHL.
Exactly. He continues to look the part. That hasn't changed. He continues to get good reps. And that's what this is. It's less evaluating rather than getting experience and getting in there and getting thrown in there and talking about certain situations so he can see them. And again, for Duran, great opportunity to feel real good going into the playoffs, a big playoff for him. I'm going to keep talking about it. It is all these guys that are here now. It's huge for them to go down there and feel the NHL and see it and touch it, especially a kid who's from here. I mean, just a great way to spend your summer and have your parents and everyone so proud and happy. And then going down there, it's easier. It's going back to Providence is going to be easier for these guys that have been up here, even for a week. So an opportunity.
And Providence is good. Providence is good.
Yeah,
they have a legit
they can go. Yeah,
chance to go far.
Yeah.
So take advantage of that. Whomever you are, whether you're a guy down there like Patra and or you're Minten or whomever. I mean, go down there and play and have fun. I mean, nothing freaking replaces winning when it doesn't matter what level you're at. Nothing does.
And everyone's watching. Half the teams are out, so half the teams start watching the AHL. And then and everyone in charge is watching to see who steps and elevates and who's the winner that isn't in the NHL that we want on our team. So huge opportunity for all of these guys.
I think the other thing worth mentioning here is that you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes what I always tell young kids, you never know, especially with these live barn services now, for instance. You never know who's watching. I tell my kids all the time, like, you think that there isn't kids at 13, 14 start worrying about that. Understandably so. It is what it is. You never know who is. With all that said, one Mason Raycroft gets drafted into the OHL, the Bantam draft. No, he's an 09.
Yeah, it's like a Bantam draft now. I don't know why they changed it, but
I don't know what is right. So he gets picked up by the Kingston Frontenacs, Kingston, Ontario, a well-known team. It's not where you played your junior hockey, but the area well. Were you surprised? Did you have, first of all, congratulations to the Mace man.
Yeah.
Who is, folks, if you haven't seen it on social media, there's congratulations to him. And he's wearing, is that your gear that he's wearing? He can't be wearing your gloves.
He did. I made him wear those last year, like when he was just getting into they didn't have a good picture of him from this year.
Wait a second. That's actually your gloves that he was wearing?
Those are my gloves because I was like, I'm not buying you adult gloves if you can't handle them. So wear these that were in the basement. Like he doesn't.
Were those your Vancouver Canuck gloves?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So he played for a team called the Cape Cod Whalers that had similar colors.
Yeah.
Which worked well. So you had these gloves that had to have been 10 years old?
Yeah, 12? Yeah. As old as he is.
So almost 15 years old, sitting in the basement. So you give them to him and you say, wear these.
Yeah.
Were they newish? Goodish?
Yeah, they were very newish. They were NHL newish. So there was nothing. They were perfect. It was like perfectly worked in for him.
Okay. And they weren't too big for him.
Well, because that was like the whole idea. Let's see if you can. The adult gloves are adult gloves. They're all basically the same. My palms were probably bigger than normal, like just a little bit longer. But but anyways, he got through those for 3 or 4 months, and then at his birthday we got him real ones.
So Mason gets drafted. I think it was the 14, 15, whatever. It doesn't matter. Mid-round. There's so many rounds in the OHL. Did you know that this was going to happen? Did you have any inkling that it could?
Yes, I did. I was aware of it. as soon as the CHL rules changed, then everything changed in October. Obviously, he wouldn't. He's going to school at some point, and playing major junior doesn't allow you to do that, even at some point. So, but now that's changed. But anyways, he's 18 minimum, 2 years away still. So,
Huh? No, he's a ways away.
Yeah. So, but he's
how long
excited.
do they hold their rights now? How long are the rules?
He's there. Like they can make deals, or he could still play USHL or anywhere down here. This is kind of just, he would be an Ontario kid. So, so there was some talk. Of course, I know a bunch of people up there, and they were asking about him, and he did some skates and was around a few of the teams, so they could see him over the winter. And there was a few places we wanted to try and control, just know where he was going. But this was cool. So he had a great weekend.
So I thought that New England kids go to the Q.
They do.
Is it because you are an Ontario native, a Canadian citizen, an Ontario native, that he is allowed to be picked up in the Ontario League?
Because I played in the league, yeah. So if your father played in the league, you're grandfathered if you choose to play in that league. So we had to do some paperwork, send out emails, and make sure the other leagues have to sign off on it. But of course, not an issue at all. So yes, all the other 09s will be drafted into the Quebec League that are here in New England.
When is that Q draft? Do you know, by the way?
I don't know. Mace was asking me that today. I don't know. I didn't pay any attention to it. I think this one was early. Like, I want to say it's like probably not for another month, because they're right in the middle of playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of an odd time.
I wonder if they did him early. I don't know if it's moved up or not. This is outside of my pay grade, so to speak, knowledge grade. I wonder if they're doing it earlier because of all the CHL NCAA rules. So it gives people more time to make a decision. Maybe.
Well, yeah. So there were 78 Americans picked. Crazy number. Usually there's 26. So this is the things are changing fast for everybody, and everyone's trying to get a handle on it. So again, it was cool that he got to have that happen to him, and just in Ontario, etc. Being down here, it's different.
Yeah, it's great. Did they send him a jersey? Any idea?
They're gonna have like a development camp. I guess they bring kids in like in another month or month and a half, and they'll do a little thing and a barbecue and stuff. Apparently,
maybe get a practice jersey or something.
Yes, get a hat and a bus ticket, as I always like to say. That's all you get.
That's what you get, and that's what you do get in that league from any of those places.
Exactly,
and hopefully a good billet.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, Jesus. Yes.
Yes.
That's the roll of the dice, boy.
Isn't that the truth? I wonder how one Mama Raycroft would do the billet situation. Interesting.
Yeah, that would be
another conversation for another
God
time.
Bless that billet.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congrats to Mason, and great stuff on him there. All right, that'll wrap up this morning brew with Jaffe and Razor, folks. We've got another one coming up either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning after the Bruins Devils game, and then we will sit down and do a full season wrap, just to go over, I think, kind of a lot of things that happened throughout this year, a year that has not gone, obviously, the way that any of us hoped, or maybe predicted. Maybe some of you did. But we'll do that. So we got at least 2 shows left, and then, we'll hit or miss here and there with other ones. In the meantime, your Bruins get set to take on the last game of the season at home on Tuesday night against the New Jersey Devils. Razor and I will both be working. In the meantime, enjoy the next couple of days. We'll talk to you either after Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. In the meantime, enjoy your coffee.